One guy that's not being asked about the Texas A&M job is my coach.
No.
Jim Harbaugh.
No.
And so, I'm not a legal expert, although I do have an unsigned sports law degree from Tulane. Gabe Feldman forgot to sign it when he bestowed it upon me. Thanks, Gabe.
Man,
You were that close, Rich.
So close.
But I do have a sports law degree, and I'm just kind of, I've been around the block with temporary restraining orders, and you're being suspended, and you're,
Okay, I was wondering where you're going with
no. We're being around the block covering that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
Rich, I knew what you meant.
Where, hey, somebody gets suspended after an investigation is complete, and you're like, well, I don't agree with it. So I need a temporary restraining order. Ezekiel Elliott is one. Tom Brady, right? Another. These happen. So, I've been around the block with the covering it in the NFL. So when Michigan asks for a temporary restraining order, and the answer's like, I won't do it next week. It's just like, well, wait a minute. There's something called irreparable harm, and we're trying to avoid it by not having our coach sidelined by the Big Ten, despite an investigation that's incomplete. We're not going to wait for the results of the investigation. We're just going to act now. Why? Well, because of what we've had already seems so damning. And plus, a bunch of coaches and athletic directors are getting on these conference calls and yeah. They are bitching and moaning at me, and I'm a commissioner of the Big Ten, and I got to do something. And the temporary restraining order from the judge, by the way, everybody thought fix is in. The judge, I don't know which one. It's kind of crazy. The reporting on this is so all over the map. I don't know which judge actually delivered the order here, but it's coming up on Friday. And there's a hearing on Friday, and I'm assuming that we'll get a decision before Saturday's Michigan game at Maryland, unless that means we're going to have a second week of Jim Harbaugh getting on a plane somewhere and finding out in flight either he's going to be able to coach or not, or maybe we'll have to wait till 90 minutes before we'll find out you're not coaching again. It's crazy. Again, there's no complete investigation. And for everyone on ESPN yammering, I mean, I don't know what happened with Feinbaum. 1 minute he says this is a witch hunt. Next minute he's like Jim Harbaugh is a cheater. Okay.
Clearly he's heard some different evidence.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
If he has, then present it, because
we want to see it.
I'd like to see it all, presented before. I've never heard of a suspension before a complete investigation ever.
Be like putting someone in jail before they go to trial.
So Michigan goes to to Penn State and comes up with a win. And I know you started the show. You loved Sharon Moore crying and dropping everything. He worked go blue.
It was the most absurd thing I've ever seen.
So all right.
Jim Harbaugh didn't die.
I know I think Mark Freeman tweeted that one out too. I get it, but I would imagine when you find out 90 minutes before you're coaching in front of 107,000 and an undefeated season is placed on your shoulders, might be a little pressure.
Helps when you're playing a high school offense.
Might be a little bit of pressure on you, and you're relieved, and your microphone's put in front of your face, and your emotions run wild. But okay, you have your way of looking at it. Obviously, I do have another way of looking at it. Jim Harbaugh had this to say about his team overcoming adversity in front of the whole watching nation of America.
The perseverance, and then the stalwartness of these guys. Watson, I would have to say, everybody. It's got to be America's team. It's got to be America's team. America loves a team that beats the odds, beats the adversity, overcomes what the naysayers and critics, so-called experts think. That's my favorite kind of team. And watching it from that view on the television, it was finally people get to see what I see every day.
Is he doing a bit?
No. He never does bits. You know it. He truly believes it. Let me just explain something. Let me just say this. I couldn't have been prouder watching the way that Michigan, the players played on Saturday. It was awesome in terms of being a fan for as long as I've been. Just seeing the way that they handled their business and conducted themselves was incredibly pride. I was bursting with pride. And this photograph that went out of Blake Corum.
Oh my God, that is insane.
Like
if NFTs are still a thing, that should be an NFT.
And I love this kid. You know, he called into this show to announce he was coming back with his knee injury, and he's so great with his NIL money locally and donating it, and JJ McCarthy as well. I mean, I'm so proud of them, immensely prideful, especially, you know, when Manny Diaz was having his fun with here's the signs, you know, time to hear you on third down, you know, all that. It was great. But I can safely say that sitting in a chair like this one and having a platform as fortunate as I have here and also on social media, we in the University of Michigan and our fan base are the only ones who feel this way about this team. The rest of America, in many ways, does not. Because, straight up, the adversity that's here, again, this guy is suspended before there is a full and complete investigation. Nutty. Nuts. And I said that on the video when I shot it on the field on Saturday at the Patriots walkthrough in Germany. Anybody out there, you're having fun about Harbaugh, and you're having fun about Michigan, and you're Manny Diaz pointing at your wrist and doing all this stuff and saying that everything's got an asterisk like many people on ESPN are saying and all that stuff. You're saying right now, fine, your school could be the next one where everybody else starts complaining at the commissioner and says X, Y, and Z, and then suddenly your school has to deal with a suspension before a full and complete investigation. But this door has been opened because this guy, Connor Stallions, was allowed to wear the Block M on his shirt and be on the sideline and do what he did. And there has to be some accounting for that and some consequence for that, period, end of story. Is this the proper consequence for it? I don't know, because there's no investigation that's complete yet. So all of this stuff is out there, and this adversity has been allowed to happen because this guy was doing whatever the hell he was doing. But we don't know who directed him to do it. We don't know if he felt compelled to do it, pressured to do it, or he just did it because he thought this is a way that I get to follow my dream of being a coach of Michigan one day, is to prove my worth in this various aspect. That, by the way, a lot of other teams have sign stealers on their roster as well. Not excusing what this guy did, because what he did, apparently, is 100% not copacetic. So the scorn and everything else and the predicament that Michigan is in right now is self-created. So to call Michigan America's team is it's quite a dot connecting. But I love it. It's Michigan versus everybody right now, and if that works for these kids, and go for it. Bet, as the kids would say.
Bet.
Okay, go for it.
I did love that tweet.
Go for it. Go for it. But I totally understand where there's a lot of eye rolling and a lot of like, get out of here with that.
Yeah.
I hear it, and I understand it completely.
Totally. It's, I mean, look, it depending on how bad it goes and how far the reach was and who knew what and when. I mean,
let's find out before you suspend somebody.
Understood. But but you know, you're up there with Astros, Patriots, all the legendary cheating schools, and so it's just like, all right, here you go.
And we'll find out if that's warranted or not.
Yeah.
You know what I want to see? Here's what I want to see, and I'm sure it exists. And the fact that it hasn't leaked out yet and it hasn't shown up on an ESPN show yet is stunning. The actual footage. I want to see it.
Well,
I want to see it. I want to see it. Because don't you think the NCAA would have it? and it would be part of whatever investigation is complete. Like I want to see it.
They have to have it.
I want to see it.
They have to have it.
But I want to see all of it because
What does it matter?
Because what does it matter? Because I just want to see. I want to see it.
But it's the act of doing it.
Yeah, once.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
But I still want to see it.
Yeah.
I still want to see it. Because like I told you, I'll say it again. The number of times you go on vacation, you say, would you mind taking a video of my family? And then it's just like, you get the phone back, it's the ceiling. It's the sky. Yeah. You see half of your child's head.
Hand someone your
you know
BlackBerry.
What I mean? Like hand somebody. Dude, you. Hey, would you mind taking pictures of me and Madonna?
You know I could never have been Connor Stallions because it would have been a bad picture.
Yeah, Mike, you wouldn't have been hired by Connor Stallions.
In all honesty, though, like he would have had to have gone down to like choice D to try and sit. Like there was one of the, I forget who it was. Somebody tweeted out like, "This is the view that Connor Stallions had of Penn State sideline. I'm sitting in the seat." I'm like, "Great reporting, great." So you do have a great sight line. Yeah. What was gleaned and who knew about it and what was done with it? That's what I want to know, and that's what everyone else is assuming was done pristinely. Every step that was taken was not only done pristinely, but done 100% with effect. And we're assuming that's what it is.
How sloppy this guy's been.
That's which means exactly. So everything else was honestly. I think to myself, is it like Badger slinging the blue stuff and Breaking Bad?
I don't know. The guy was wearing like Bobby Valentine on the CMU sideline.
But let's suspend him before the investigation's complete. Let's do that. And that's the adversity he's saying that they're overcoming. But I understand that people are like, well, the adversity is kind of in your own making. But that said, America's team, baby, at Maryland. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.